Hi.
Hey, Portia. Hi, Alex. Can you hear me? Yeah. Brandon, what up, dude? Hear me? Can you hear me or no?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure. There we go. Did you guys get the chance to watch the thing from Julia?
No.
Wow, it was so good. I sent it in the email, but I sent it late. I kind of sent it late today. They sent a bunch of new stuff. They're doing a lot of new stuff for the new season. They've added like 20 more groups. They're adding kids, special interest. They added a bunch of stuff. So they sent out so much content today to us. So try to organize it all. And I'm going to do another one on Wednesday, or I'm going to do another one on Saturday, but it's going to be like just golf, just teaching golf and tips and all that stuff. It's not discussion like we do on the message or anything. Just adding a special interest thing. Let's see. Yeah, Julie, the message yesterday, Julia did it. And dude, she got super emotional. Like it was
good.
Yeah, it was like hair stand up on your arm good. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So what we doing? Go back and watch when you got some time.
Yeah. Definitely will.
I don't know where the heck my sister is. She was literally just with me. Oh, so did you get the message or the email I sent, or was it confirmation? I used your email one.
Got a text message, I think.
Oh, the join one.
I didn't get an email.
You got a text message saying like a barcode or join or something?
Yeah, a link.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll have to make sure you're on the. Hey, Amber.
Hi, everybody. Happy 1,000 days, Brandon. Whoop, whoop.
Thank you.
First shot, Alex. Hi.
Hi.
1,000 days.
Wait, I just raced over the road here.
1,000 days. Oh my goodness. Does it feel like 1,000 days?
Not really.
Can you believe?
It feels like more than 1,000 days.
Does it?
Yeah.
Well, sometimes probably when you're counting it.
Yeah.
Right.
Alex, Brandon's today 1,000 days seizure free.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
1,000 days. And you're fit as a fiddle now. Look at you.
Yeah.
DDP.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know who else is coming in. I guess I just got some late last minute here text of no shows, but we'll get started. That's why we record them. Can always send them to them. So I'm gonna just pull these notes up here. Oh, there's Christine. Hold on a second. I'm gonna add her in. Christine.
Hi guys.
Hey, how
Hi.
you doing?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good.
Yay. Why is the sun
Yay.
always shining wherever you are? Sunshine Day.
I have to stay where the sun is. I gotta stay in the.
Christine, did you get a chance to listen to Julia's message?
I did not actually know. I was traveling yesterday and I did not listen to it, and I didn't listen to it today either. But how was it? Was it amazing? I'll listen to it tonight.
Yeah, sit down. You're gonna probably tear at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty emotional.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
It was so good. Well, yeah, so we're just gonna get started.
Okay.
So the series was on the whole series. This whole season they were doing is on the how we get what everybody wants. You know, the big series title, but the one Julia just did was called "In the Wait," and like I said, she was very in touch with this message. I don't know if there's something personal she's going through in this moment. Obviously the message affected her in a way that it was pouring out of her. I mean, she was emotional. I've watched it 3 times and every single time's like the first time. So
Wow.
really, really powerful message. But her talking about, patience, the ability to endure in delay, and sometimes feeling like we should have had something already, or something should have been owed to us or come to us already, and our expectations, it's due to us. And she talked about a lot of a personal experience with in her life, but just for all of us, the wanting of the things we need or we expect that we should have by now, and having the patience to wait for the timing of it to be right, not your timing but God's. Not it's for you and you expect it and you worked hard and you deserve it. It only comes when it's ready for you to have. And she talked a lot about in the wait and the patience for that, and building the ability to endure that delay in our lives, the time where we're like, why is it not happening by now? I've busted my butt. I've done everything. I'm doing everything. I'm trying my best. I'm trying my hardest. Why am I not reaping? So I think we've all felt that before. And, she talks a lot about in those moments that, it takes a lot of faith in action for your faith to work. So what she meant by like talking about have faith in yourself and confidence to put into action your faith, because that's when it works. So she used an example of this COVID, like keeping your kid, they have, their children, keeping the kids at home school. They're in LA, they're still closed down. Talking about she wasn't built for that. She's not that type of mom to have kids home and homeschooled. Like she never, kind of laughing about it, but the struggle of having all the kids at home, they're all in different grades, all different computers, going to different teachers. And that obviously you guys probably know that Georgia is very severe special needs, their daughter, Georgia, their first daughter. So the struggle she was going through with learning that process and trying to have patience, and that she admitted that she wasn't ready for that and built for that. And so in her struggle, she reached out on her social media or something and just wrote a message like, any moms out there going through the same thing, if you have any advice, I'll send you a Starbucks card or coffee. I'll buy you a coffee when I see you. And she was overwhelmed by the response, and she admittedly doesn't use her media well. She doesn't know what DMs are. Like she just laughs about it, but she just was rolling in from single mothers and mothers with multiple special needs kids, not just one, more kids than them, financially distraught. All these messages of harder situations in her, but with positivity, like giving her the strength. So she talked a lot about, you know, faith in your action so that your faith works. You know, don't be scared to take action, and don't be scared to have the confidence to take action to ask or reach out, or, you know, we're pretty good in this group texting and stuff like that. Like, there's no shame in asking somebody else if they experience it, or asking somebody else for advice about a bad experience. I've been terrible with that in my life. I've been terrible with like being vulnerable to show anybody a weakness, or like ask somebody for help because I thought it was a weak ask. I thought it was a sign of my inability to take care of things. And it's actually just the opposite. I mean, I was weaker with isolation than I would have been if I just asked other people that have already been through it and are going through it, to learn from it and help me get through it better. So that was a really good topic she brought up, being, you know, confident in your actions to activate your faith. You know, it's one thing to rely on your faith and be a faithful person and believe in the whole nine, but to lean into it when you need it. You know, it's not there just for you to do in private. It's to lean into it when you need it. So she goes in from that to talking about, you know, doing good things feels good. And we talk about this a lot, like doing the right thing is always the right thing. And it does, it feels good to do something nice for somebody, or do something for somebody else. It feels good, but there's this conflict that arises in doing good, because it's easy to do what we feel or how we feel instead of actual good, like, you know, self-maximizing almost, and more for us and what we feel like we need, as opposed to selfless stuff or somebody truly for somebody else. So there's this kind of conflict in, is it feel good for me, or is it feel good because I'm in service and doing for others. So she talks about the conflict in that, and something I really resonated with was, she talked about, you know, when you pour your everything into, you know, a company or somebody or something or a place. You know, for me, my story was a company, and I poured everything I had into it emotionally, and sacrificing a lot to do so. And I felt like it let me down, because it wasn't a result that I'd imagined it would have been, like how I saw it, because I had full control. Like, why wasn't it working? I'm the one that's controlling it. And it goes back to what I just said, not being able to ask or share, or rely on my faith in my actions, but pouring into something so heavily and not getting the result that you wanted. But going on to say, there is nothing more fulfilling than bearing the fruit of the seed that God has planted inside of you. So, like, half empty, half full thing, right? Like, I put so much emotion into my company that when I walked away from it, it was like devastating. Like, I don't know, I can't even explain the emotion, because it felt like a massive letdown in my execution. But, you know, when she said it like that, it's always the glass is half full, right? Like, what did I get out of it? Like, I had that planted inside me. I still do, to be able to even get that, to do something like that. And that's just part of the patience of waiting for what I'm actually supposed to reap in my life. And that just wasn't it. You know, that's where I've come to the conclusion. It just wasn't it. It was just part of the process and my patience. And I'm gonna still wait. You know, I have to wait and keep doing the service and keep doing. That's the only commission that God ever has for us, is the doing. Just keep doing. And when you get lost, or when you get discouraged, you know, the enemy, whoever it is, you know, in devil form or just people around you. We always talk about the circles we carry, or I've been victim of being following the group I'm with. People I hang with starting to reform to them. You fall victim of that, and the enemy will try to encourage you to slow down and or in most cases just do nothing. That's what they want you to do. Misery loves company, all that stuff. They want you to slow down. They want you to give up. They want you to do nothing. But the trick is not to fall into that trap, and to know that God will always renew your strength and your life. When he talks about, there's a message here I want to read to you. Right here. So it says, come. So this is from Matthews 28:30. It says, come to me, get away with me, and you'll recover your life. So he says, walk with me, I'll show you the way. Walk with me, I'll show it to you. Let it all down. No heavy lifting or ill will on you during this journey. Keep in company with me, and you'll learn to live freely and lightly. Watch me, I'll show you, you can do it. Right? So, for me, it's always been hard. I've fought religion my whole life, so it's always been easier said than done. I've used that line a million times, especially my mother, because she used to read this stuff to me and like say it. And it's like, okay, well, try to do the things I'm doing and tell me that, like very cocky attitude to the fact of like, easier said than done. It's cool to read a passage, but again, going back to what Julia said, it's like faith in action. Like, don't be faithful. Don't come to these groups, or let's not talk about it if we're not going to practice it. If you just want to read quotes, inspirational quotes, you can be on Instagram all day long. That's why it's there. I mean, you can find many. The thing is to read something and apply it and put it in action. And that's what faith is, right? I mean, for years I was like, prove it. I'm a facts guy, science guy, prove it. That's not the point. It doesn't matter what you believe or how you actually believe in it. It's how much faith you have in that belief, and how far are you willing to go for anything that's important to you, no matter how much you fucked it up. Excuse my language. I'm not supposed to swear in this week. It's every other week we're allowed to swear. Sorry, I have to bleep that out before I send it. Oops. But so we get back to this other passage I want to read too. So, here we go. And let us now grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap, if we do not give up. So then, as we have opportunity, let us do good to everyone, and especially to those who are of the threshold of faith, or the household of faith. Right. So again, just talking about patience and this time right now, I think why Julia explained, you'll see when you watch it, but she talked about, she's feeling that the weight of her community, the weight of the church, the weight of their whole community and culture there, all the people, I think probably of the city a little bit, because LA's still pretty closed down. She's feeling the weight of everybody and feeling that, I say weight like pressure, but feeling their weight in the weight, WAIT. When's it going to come? When's this going to be over? When's this going to be better? When's my life going to be back to normal? When can I get back to my job? When can I live out of fear? When can I go see my loved ones? I'm feeling a lot of weight to this time we're going through. So I think in the weight is being tested probably more than I've in my lifetime right now, more than ever, right? I mean, everything's changed for everybody in the world this past year. So we have to practice this weight, this patience, this growth more than ever. We have to lean into whatever we have faith in, our confidence, whatever our faith is one thing, but what are we good at? Lean into it. What are we really good at? What do we do well for others? How can we be in service more? Knowing that when Julia reached out because she was struggling, she got 100 messages from single mothers that dwarfed her issue. Like she felt kind of bad that like, holy cow, what I'm going through is nothing. It pales comparison to the message that we're coming through. So I think we always keep that in mind. I never did, I can tell you that. I kind of kept my head in my own business and on myself selfishly. But you know, like what helps me now is if I can try to put myself, if I'm feeling really bad, if I try to put myself in a worse position or think about how could it be worse for me? Or there's got to be people going through worse stuff than something so ridiculous that I'm going through. And it helps me put a little bit in perspective and try to curve my feeling back to, you know, the right side a little bit. So 3 quick points. I'm going to send you some notes. This year we're changing. So I'm going to send you the questions that you can kind of look over, but I'm just going to run through the points this week on the thing. So point 1 for the message this week was about sow where you want to grow. That was one of the best ones. I thought she went like, you know, sow where you want to grow. Like that means, you know, his only commission is to always be doing for others, for the world, for everything. But sow where you want to grow. Choose where you want to be. We talked about the circles, who you're around, what you're doing, who you're doing it for. You can't be in service to other people in the best way when you're not even serving yourself. So I always think when my mind's healthy and I'm on the right track and I'm doing the right things that I know I'm supposed to be doing, my like outside surroundings always change a little bit on its own, and I feel better, and it just kind of snowballs. So where you grow. Thought that was a great number 1 point. Talk about Corinthians. I planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the growth. Right? We're in service. We wait and be patient for whatever we did to grow. Right? Put the soil down, lay the seed. We have to wait for the flower to come up, for the fruit to come up, for the tree to come up, whatever it is. It just doesn't, oh, we did the work. I want to reap the benefits. Come on. Where's the apple? Where's the fruit? Where's it at? I want it now. There's a patience to it and planning. Point 2 was growing and doing good. So we just touched base on that. Point 3, put your trust in his timing. Again, patience, right? Just because we want something or we think we deserve it, or we put a ton of work into it, like, God, it feels like us, like we've done everything possible to get what we need. We did all the steps. We did a freaking plan. We did all the things. Where is it? Why is it still happening? Or why isn't it happening? And you got to put trust in the timing. Everybody's timing is different. You see a friend that happened when he was 18 or 20, might not happen to you in your 50s, 60s. That it doesn't take away from anything. It's the timing you need to trust in. That's your time for the world to see you shine. 4 was harvest, and the harvest he has is worth the wait. So again, this one, I think was good. This was, therefore do not throw away your confidence, which has a great reward. For you have need of endurance, so that when you have done the will of God, you may receive what is promised to you. That's sick. That's sick. I love that one. Because that's it. That's, if out of all that message, that was the only thing I read, that right there is sick to me. That's like, dude, it's already promised for you. If you're willing to do the things that others won't do, you're willing to do the things, and you're willing to be consistent and patient and keep going and never give up and trust in your faith and in your action, it's already promised for you. The timing is not yours, though. We got to relinquish that over to him. The timing is not ours. We don't own that. The doing is ours. That's our responsibility. But it's already promised to you. Everybody's going to get it. Everybody wins a lottery in this game. There's no scratch offs here. You lose. Everybody wins this one. It's just when you get it. And then the message to it. So I'll send you the Connect group questions when we finish, but the whole wrap up to this whole series was love, joy, peace, patience, and kindness. Right. And it was bearing the fruit. That was kind of the theme of all the series is how do we get the fruit? As simple as that to me is what we talked about. Like you got to do the steps. And then after you do all the work, you have to wait. If you pick it before and you're impatient with your timing, it's not going to be the best fruit you can get. It's not going to be ripe yet. It's not going to be ready. It's not going to have the same nutrients you need for it. So I encourage you guys all to watch the video. Like I said, I've known Julia for a long time and I've watched a ton of her stuff and it was just different. She was really connected to it this time. This messaging was unbelievable. So definitely take the time and check it out. I'm going to skip the questions about what you thought about it since everybody told me they didn't watch it. I'm going to skip those questions. But I'll send them to you anyway, because then you have to. But here's two things to think about. This was from Julia. So when she's talking about sow where you grow, think about an area that you could personally commit to sowing into during this next season of your life. So is there something, someone, someplace, your business, your work, your loved ones, something you can personally commit to in sowing or into for growth? That was one thing she wanted to think about. And next one was the fruits of the spirit are often revealed when we do good things. So what are some simple ways to grow in doing good? Right? She says it's always an order of reaping reward. One is always have the faith in the action. You gotta be confident to act on it. Write a message, put yourself out, put it out there. Even if when we started this, I mean, we always joke, Brandon and I have been on this one-on-one before. Like, just if one person shows up, we're still doing it. But you got to have the faith in the action. Like you got to show up over and over and over and over and over and over and over. When you try a new thing, or when you're trying to repair something, or when you're trying to be better in your own life, like just personal growth. You got to go over and over and over for your actions to have some consistency to them to mean anything. And then God's timing. How do you stay encouraged to trust his timing? Think about ways that you can get through the down spurts where the enemy wants to bring you down, where he wants to encourage you to take the easy way out, or everybody knows it's the simplest way for me. It's always been people around me. It's like, what are you doing inside school out and drinking? It's like, those to me don't seem like enemies because they're people. They're my people I know, like my friends, I would call them. But for me personally, that is my enemy. That's my enemy. That's what takes me off course. That's what, it might not be bad people, but that's sometimes they're disguised in the people close to you. Sometimes they're disguised in people you believe are friends. Sometimes they're disguised in your friends because they're not in the timing of their life to be ready to encourage you. Not bad people. They're just not ready. They're not in the same place as you in your life. So you got to watch out for all the signs. And what are some things you can do to trust his timing? Stay the course. In those downtimes, make sure you switch it and turn it up a notch. So that's all the notes I have for this. I'll send you the things. But does anybody have anything that resonates to you want to speak on? I know you didn't see the message itself, but anything in what we've talked about in the weight or the faith in action or patience? Portia, I know you got something to say.
Yeah, I do.
I see you looking down. You got something right in front of you there?
Who wants to go first?
You.
I don't want to just go first if someone else wants to go. Okay. So I just think, like you said, obviously you have to have your number one faith in God. And you have to remember that you are limitless and God is limitless, right? And so I was thinking, so like Julia said, you can look at waiting in two ways. You can be passively, or you can wait passively, or you can wait expectantly, right? So if you're waiting passively, you're just waiting for something to happen. You're sitting around waiting, and you get discouraged easily because obviously nothing's going to happen if you don't take the action to do it, right? So you just give up, and those are the people that have a wishbone, but they don't have a backbone, right? So
Nice. I write that one down. I like that.
so the expectant person is going to be, like you said, it's going to be the person who is going to have the belief, and every day they're going to live with that belief, and they're going to walk with that faith, and they're going to keep that consistency and keep their heart full of the hope and expecting the answers from God and the solution to whatever they're needing to go through. And that's the person who will wait and wait and wait and wait. And then suddenly God will just respond and something will happen, right? And it'll happen like that, like quick. They won't even be like ready, but they will be ready. So anyway,
I love it.
the word, if you break down the word expect, it means to look for, right? But it also means to serve, right? So if you're eager to be in faith, and then God will give you the solution that you need because you're actively and you're expectantly keeping that your heart open and prepared for it. Okay. So I wrote down that when Jesus taught his followers to pray, he emphasized persistence, and he called for continuous action, saying, everyone who keeps asking receives, and he who keeps seeking finds, and he who keeps knocking, it shall be opened. And so you can go through, and there's so many different passages. Like I think Julia touched on how Abraham and Joseph and they all waited, years and years and years. So, and like you said too, so don't get me wrong, it's not easy to always wait, and we don't always have that motivation and encouragement to sit there and wait, and we get angry. I mean, I know I have. So you do want to give up, but I think when we're in the waiting, it is the time for the growth. And I think it's also a good time, even if you have to slow down and you have to quiet your mind. Sometimes growth can also be overwhelming too, because we're taking in all this new information. So I think that even if you give yourself grace and space just to sometimes even just quiet your mind and just get the clarity that you need to go within. And I think it's also a good reminder that we always talk about it's not perfection, and God favors the bold, not the perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so another good way to put this too, I think, which could relate to, I think everyone, something that doesn't work out for you really did work out, right? I know it doesn't seem like it, but if you think about it, something that doesn't work out for you really did work out for you. So
Sure.
I have one more thing. So I read this. Delay never thwarts God's purpose. It merely polishes his instrument. So he always equips us for which he's called us to. And so sometimes that equipping can take longer for whoever he's doing that for. And some people, they might get there when they're 20, and some people, they might be 40. You know what I mean? And I think God is using the situation you're in to shape you into, and he's preparing you for what he wants to bring to you. And that you just have to trust in him, and you just have to keep the faith, I guess. And sometimes we don't always understand it, but it all works out in the end. And I think when you are waiting, that you have to remember to, like I said, give yourself that grace, but don't make it like such a drag that you're waiting, right? You got to have fun while you're waiting, and just like go and enjoy the waiting too. So like you're going to enjoy the high times, but you can still enjoy those other times when doesn't seem like everything is going in alignment.
Text me that wishbone one.
Yeah.
Text me that. Thank you for sharing that. It was amazing.
Sure.
Alex, you can or cannot if you feel comfortable, but you are also somebody that pushes pretty hard. You're very similar to me, and when it comes to like your career and your expectations of things, what helps you set expectations of the timing or be patient with it? Is there anything that you go to, or are you just,
No, my expectations aren't realistic.
okay?
I'm not patient.
Is there anything that settles you though in those moments that you have faith in either your ability and or I know obviously like you like to go work out and like get in a different mood, but is there any tools that you use that help you with patience? No. Okay. Not yet. Still waiting on timing.
No, I mean, I don't know. Like as far as setting expectations, basically just like I do everything I can and then it's like out of my hands. I mean, it's still like,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean like, if something doesn't happen or whatever, it doesn't mean I'm not going to be disappointed, but it's like, besides that, I'm very bad at
Like you
that.
can only, does anybody else feel like this? You can only do, some of the stuff I did in business, I can only do so much.
Yeah.
And then I have to kind of relinquish control, even though I sucked at doing that. Like,
Well, I mean, there's just some things that you can't control, like at all. It's 0% out of your hands. Like stuff like, I don't know. Like, for example, just one little very small thing. I mean, well, it's big for me, but it's like, there's a worldwide semiconductor chip shortage. So I went to go order something today for work and I can't get it till 2024, which is very interesting. And it's a very real issue that's like coming, but it's like, I could do so much. I could, try to do everything I could do, but there's nothing more, like that. And so that's where I just have to step back and say, well, that's out of my hands. There's nothing, it's going to have to work itself out some other, way.
Yeah, I feel that. Is there any anything that you practice now? I mean, talk about 1,000 days, Brandon, 1,000 days. Like, did you set any expectation? Were you practicing patience? Were you excited to get there? Like it was far away, or how have you been dealing with that? I can hear you. I think I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I just practice a lot of patience because back when I first started having seizures and stuff, I didn't have a lot of patience. I wanted everything right now. I thought, being a Christian right then, that God was going to, the Christian road was going to be perfect and easy, but to find out it's not. It's a lot of patience, and I have to remind myself, we live in a world of sin, and it all goes back to the Garden of Eden when Eve took the fruit, right? Yeah, Eve took the fruit, and it's going on now.
Yeah.
And we have that mindset because of sin,
Yeah.
and we don't have patience. And I just have to remind myself every day, stay in faith, have patience. It's all in God's timing. It's not in my timing.
That's amazing. Well, dude, 1,000 days is amazing. What you've sparked. Now the Suns are a good basketball team. I mean, the energy is flowing over there. You sparked something real. You got the sports world on fire in Arizona, and now the Suns are actually a good basketball team again. So hooray!
Yeah, and the Cardinals got JJ Watt, so
Yeah.
well,
I'm sorry we ran over here less a minute here, Amber. I wanted to have you talk to we're gonna cut off here, but anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up next week, a week and a half from now, or sorry, 2 weeks, every other week, we're meeting on ZOE. We're gonna have some more stuff for this season. Exciting. I'm gonna have some more things for you in the email, so check the emails. We're gonna send some more things. So there's gonna be a exciting new season and a lot more to come. It's exciting stuff. And then Saturday, I'm doing another one. I'll send you some info on that if you care at all about golf. I know, Alex, you want to learn, so you better be on it. I love
Absolutely.
you guys. I appreciate you coming. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Every Monday. Love you guys.